A key component to running a successful business is planning and reflection. I know how hard it can be to work on your own business and set aside time to work on your business versus clients' websites and clients' businesses. But it is super important that you are tracking analytics, analyzing, reflecting on your products and services to make sure that your business is staying on the right track. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rebecca Grace from Rebecca Grace Designs, and I help you run your business on Squarespace. And today we are going to be talking about setting up a new year business plan, specifically how to look over your last year in order to plan and set yourself up for success in the new year. And I'm going to be walking you through all the steps that I take when I am planning a new year for my business. So the first thing we're going to do is dive into our analytics. I remember when I was first starting out my business and you kind of realize that you are the one making all of the decisions, that can be super scary because you don't want to make the wrong decision, but you're not really sure, how do I make decisions for my business? How do I know if this is the right decision? And I learned very quickly that it is important to be making decisions for your business based off of your analytics, based off of actual data, and not based off of your gut feelings or sort of what the trends are that are happening in the online world. And so I'm going to show you what sort of metrics I track when it comes to planning out my next year. So the overall goal for this step is you want to answer the two following questions. What am I already doing that's working really well? And what am I doing that's not serving my business? Those are the two questions that we want to answer using all of this information. And so I kind of break this down into three steps. I look at my income streams, I look at my marketing or my audience building strategies, and I look at my admin tasks. And I'm looking for specific things. So first of all, with income, I make a list of all of the ways my business makes money, all of the ways that income comes into my business, including affiliate income, passive income, any product or service that you're offering, any way that your business makes money. And then for each of those, I look up and calculate, okay, how much did I actually make in that income stream over the past year? Gross, so how much did it came in the business through that income? Then I look at the annual expenses associated with that particular income stream. So for example, do you have a specific membership or online account that you need in order to provide that income stream? Is there processing fees? Maybe you need to have a higher Squarespace account or pay for, a pro Zoom account or something like that. So what of your expenses is attributed to this particular income stream? And that helps me look at the net income for that income stream. So how much of profit am I actually making off of this particular income stream? Then I look at the time commitment. How many hours annually do I spend on this? And that can be a bit hard to calculate, but I'll kind of break it down into how much do I spend on this a week, a month, and then multiply that by 12. It doesn't need to be an exact number. You don't need to track it down to the minutes, but it's just to give you a general idea of how much time, how much of your business time, your work hours are devoted to this particular income stream. So try to be as accurate as you can. Then from there, I look at, okay, my net income, how many hours approximately I spend on this. So how much am I actually making per hour that I spend on this project? Now, I don't charge an hourly rate, and I'm not suggesting you charge an hourly rate, but sometimes that can be a good way for us to see if it's actually worth our time. If you are maybe you're making quite a bit of money in the income stream, but it also takes up 99% of your time. And so when you actually look at, well, how much am I making for the hours I'm putting in, it may not work out to what you think. So I use that as just sort of an idea to see how efficient my time is on that particular income stream. And then I also rate enjoyment, because obviously we want to enjoy our businesses. So I give it a rating out of 10. How much do I actually enjoy this income stream? Do I like having it as part of my business? How much do I enjoy this? And then based off of all of that information, I ask myself two things. One, could this be more efficient? Could I automate part of this process? Could I maybe hire somebody? Can I make maybe this is where I need to lower expenses in order to make this income, my hourly rate, let's say, better? So can I make this more efficient in any way? And finally, a kind of an overall decision. Am I going to continue with this income stream exactly as it is? I'm happy with all of these numbers. I enjoy doing this and it's working out well. I'm going to continue exactly as I am. Am I going to change something either to improve it or maybe to scale it? You're like, actually, I think I could make this even better, and have this be a bigger part of my business. So am I going to change this either up or down, or am I removing this income stream? Actually, when I look at it, this income stream is not worth the amount of time and money it's bringing into my business. I don't enjoy it, or whatever your decision is. Am I going to remove it? And so you can see that now my continue, change, remove is based off of numbers from my business that are helping me make that decision. Income, hours, enjoyment, and then you're making a decision on whether this is something that is serving your business. And then I follow that same process for my marketing strategies or my audience building strategies. So if you are doing any paid advertising, you may ask yourself some different questions here. You may need to dive more into click-through rates and that kind of thing. But this, for me, I do mainly organic traffic through my blog and through things like that. And so these are the questions I ask myself. Again, I list all the strategies that I do to market my business, to build my audience. Then I look at how effective is this strategy. And this can look different for each of the different strategies that you have. Again, we don't need to be, 100% to the number accurate here. It's to help you make a decision of whether this is worth your time in your business and whether it's actually serving your business. So whatever metric you think will work best here is going to change based on what it is. So for example, maybe you look at, my blogging, and I'm looking at how much traffic does my blog actually bring in. And so I'm looking at my Google Analytics to see how much of my website traffic is actually coming in from blogging. Maybe you have some freebies that you're giving out. And so you're going to look at how many subscribers did I get from that particular freebie? And so that's, again, you're looking at different metrics, but you're trying to get an overall idea of, is this strategy actually working? Is it effective? Is it building my audience and helping bring people into my space? Then you're going to look at expenses for this as well. Again, you're going to look at, memberships. Maybe you have a particular membership you need to run that service. So for example, if you have a freebie, how are you collecting addresses, email addresses? How are you giving the freebie out? So is there an email marketing system that you use for that particular service? Maybe you need a Canva Pro account to create that graphic or that freebie, that kind of thing. So what expenses, what is it costing you to provide that or use that strategy in your business? Then you're going to, again, look at hours. How long do you spend on this particular strategy? And I like to do it as per year so I can compare it to my annual expenses. I again rank for enjoyment. Do I actually enjoy this strategy, or do I constantly procrastinate on this strategy? Maybe it's something I really don't enjoy doing. And then I ask myself those two questions again. Can I make it more efficient? Maybe I automate it, maybe I hire somebody, maybe I lower my expenses, maybe I look into batching, for example, with blogging. Maybe there's a strategy that can make it more efficient. Maybe I'm going to start using AI to write outlines, that kind of thing. And then again, am I continuing with this strategy as is? Am I going to change the strategy a little bit? Or actually, this strategy is not working very well, or I really don't enjoy it, or it takes way too much of my time. I'm going to remove it from my business. And then finally, we do the same thing with our admin tasks. I list all of the tasks that I do administration-wise in my business. So bookkeeping, maybe there is, legal paperwork that you do. Maybe you're answering client emails, that kind of thing. So what are all the administrative things that you do in your business? I want you to give it a ranking on how necessary it is for your business and for you to personally be doing in your business. Or could you hand this off to somebody else? And again, you're looking at enjoyment. Do I enjoy doing this task? Maybe this is something that I actually really enjoy doing in my business. When I first started out, I really enjoyed actually doing the bookkeeping because it brought me so much excitement to see how my services were doing and what was actually happening in my business. So that was a task I really enjoyed doing. You can look at how many hours, again, annually it's taking you on that task. It can, again, be a bit hard to know annually how much exactly, but you can say, okay, maybe I spend an hour a day looking at emails. And so I'm going to do, 5 hours a week, which is about 20 hours a month, and then times that by 12 to get your annual hours. So it doesn't, again, have to be exact, but you want a general idea of how much time you spend on that task. And then again, ask yourself those two questions. Can you make it more efficient? This is generally one of the first places that it's time to hire somebody in your business. So is it worth getting a VA to start taking over some of these tasks? Can I hand this off to somebody else, or does it need to be me? Can I automate some of this process? That sort of thing. And then again, are you continuing as is? Are you going to try and hire somebody? Or, you know what, actually this task is not really necessary for my business. I'm just going to stop doing this task altogether. I know that was a lot of information for analytics, and so what I've done is I've put this into a nice, neat Google spreadsheet for you. And so if you would like to click the link below and sign up, I will send you a copy of this spreadsheet and a PDF guide to help walk you through it so you can have a good overview of how your business is running, and again, then make some decisions on what are you doing that's working really well, and what are you doing that's really not serving your business, and you can get rid of it or change it or remove it from your services or your offerings. So step 2 in my New Year business planning is market research. So now that we know what is working in our business or not working in our business, we are looking at what can we add, what's missing from our business that we can add to our products or services. So the overall goal of this step is what product or service could I add to my business? And also what marketing strategy or audience building strategy can I add to my business? And maybe it's not the time to add, and that's okay. I still recommend doing some market research for future ideas, or maybe even just to add to your current offerings. Maybe it's just an upgrade or an add. And it just kind of helps keep you, give you a good understanding of what's happening and keep you relevant in the online world, and make sure that your business is still on the right track. So even if you're not thinking about adding anything new, it's still a good idea to kind of touch base and make sure that your offerings are still going to be relevant over the next year or couple years. And so it can be super tempting at this stage. It's sort of the creative stage, it's the fun dream stage. And so it can be super tempting to just open up a Word document and just start listing all of the ideas you have for your business. Maybe you saw a competitor release something really cool and that sparked an idea. Maybe you had an idea on your morning walk or what have you. But before you let your mind run wild, it's really important to do your market research. This is one of the biggest mistakes I made in my business when I started out, is I had this really good idea for a product and I put all this time into building this product, and I was so proud of this product, and I knew it was something that I was super proud of and I was super excited to share with my audience. But then when I shared it, nobody really seemed that interested. And so I was like, you know what? It's my marketing strategies, because I really enjoy this product and I think this is a great product. So it must be my marketing strategies. And so I tested all these different strategies. I looked at paid advertising. I looked at, a ton of things. I bought all these courses on marketing and really tried to push this product. I looked at different messaging options and everything. But what I had forgotten to do was, before I spent all this time, actually check if it was something my audience needed or wanted. That's not to say it wasn't a good quality product, but it wasn't a product that enough of my audience needed for themselves and for their business. And so I kind of forgot that the whole point of my business is to provide services for my audience that I had built up, and not about me kind of showcasing different skills I have or things that I enjoy personally. It's about my audience. And so before you start making that list, and before you spend all that time marketing and building the product and the thing, I strongly suggest you gather some information from your audience so that you know what you're building is something they're actually going to want to get from you. And so I want you to take some time to get to know your audience. Who is your ideal client? What are their interests? What are their goals? What are their pain points? What are they struggling with? What questions are they asking you? Look through your blog comments, your YouTube video comments, your podcast comments. Look at what they're searching on your site. What are they actually asking from you? And do you see sort of a need or anywhere that you're not filling, or a new question, a new problem, especially in the online space, is constantly changing? Is there sort of a new pain point that has come up that you would be the perfect person to kind of fill that spot? And there's so many questions you can ask here, but the overall goal is to get an understanding of who your ideal client is, what they need, and most importantly, why they make the decisions that they do. If you can figure out why they buy and what they buy, then that can really help inform your choices. When you're making those ideas, you know that it's going to align to their needs, their preferences, their lifestyle, their pain points. And so you have a much higher chance of marketing it successfully when you know it's something that they're asking for and that aligns to what they actually want. So in this stage, again, you're doing some research on your audience, on your market, and seeing, what products or services could you add to your business that you feel would be helpful? What strategy can you use to build your audience in order to then sell your new products or new offerings to? The third step of my New Year business planning is goal setting. And I know this is a stage that sometimes people skip over or they take really lightly, they kind of roll their eyes at, but I promise you this is what's going to keep your mindset on track as you progress through the year. And so the overall goal that I want you to focus on in this particular step is, one, did you hit your goals from last year? Why or why not? And how are you going to define success in your business this year? So again, the first thing I like to do is look at my goals from last year. Did I achieve these? Why or why not? And that why or why not is key, because maybe the goals that I'm setting are unrealistic, or maybe I realized that a certain strategy I was using to help try and attain my goals is just not something that works for me. And so I want to change that for the next year. So knowing the why or why not will help you in making sure the goals you set for this year are going to be ones that you can reach and get to. And then I want you to really think about how you define success for your business. This is a huge mindset piece, and it can really keep you on track and on the pathway that you want for your business. So I want you to define success for yourself and your business. What is important to you and your business? And this is going to form the baseline for how you make decisions and how you feel about how your business is done. It can be super important to sort of analyze your priorities, your values here, and make sure that you have written this definition of success for your business so that when things get tough, you can rely back to that and realize that that is what is important in your business. So maybe you didn't hit that income goal that you really wanted, but success for you is that you were consistent in your strategies this year, or that you had a better work-life balance. And so if you've hit those, that's a successful year, and that can really, again, keep you on track. So what I want you to do is think about what you want to happen in your business over the next year. What would make you smile next year when you're sitting down to do this? What's going to make you smile and feel like you just had a great year and you were just overjoyed with what you did over the year? So what does that look like for you? And I want you to write that down and then get specific. Look at that goal and break it down into manageable, time-bound steps. So maybe your goal is to hit your first six-figure year. And so this year, let's say you currently made $80,000, and by the end of next year, you want to be making your first $100,000 year. And so it's all kind of well and good to say that, but we need to break that down into time-bound steps to ensure that you're going to do that over the year. So for example, let's say you're making about $6,500 a month on average over the last year, and you want again to get to $100,000, which is about $8,500 a month approximately. So let's say, okay, if I break this down, then by the end of the first quarter, I want to be making on average $7,000 a month. And then by the next quarter, I want to be making $7,500, so that by the third quarter, I'm making $8,000, and then I'm going to $8,500 a month, which is my goal. So you see how I kind of broke that down into quarters and steps, so that by the end of the year, I achieve that. And so I essentially want to be increasing my revenue by about $500 a month each quarter. And so what can I do in my business to actually achieve that? Maybe I'm going to raise my rates a little bit. Maybe I'm going to offer a new product, or try a new marketing strategy. Or what am I going to do to try and actually hit that goal? So again, the idea is you're going to choose some attainable goals for your business, and then break it down into time-bound steps and strategies that you're going to actually take in order to hit that goal. So don't just kind of, oh, it would be great if by the end of next year I was making six figures. Okay, let's break that down into quarters, and what are you going to do to actually hit that goal and stay on track throughout the year? And again, that will help your business just kind of follow the right path, and it will also help your mindset when things get tough. You can go back to that definition of success and back to your goals, and focus on whether you're making the progress that you want, and keeping yourself on track. So now up until this point, you've analyzed your business, what you're currently doing, what's currently working or not, any sort of new product, services, strategies that you want to add in, and you've set some goals for yourself. And so the next fourth step of your New Year's business planning is to put a date on it. Actually put this into your calendar so that you've set a plan and actually made it into a plan. And so the overall goal of this step is to look at how does this plan that I've come up with, these ideas, actually fit into my life over the next year. So we've had this huge list of great ideas, but unless we actually put a date or a time frame on it, they might not happen. So let's actually put them into the calendar so that we can keep on task. So the first thing that I want you to do, you just open up your calendar. I use a Google Calendar and Asana as my calendar and kind of to-do list. So pull up whatever platform or product or service, or even a notebook, whatever you use for planning, that's what I want you to pull out. And I first want you to go through and put in anything from your personal life that needs to go into that calendar. So is there any sort of dates you need to be aware of? When do you want to take vacations? What are the government holidays that you need to be aware of? Is there an area that you're like, you know what, during this month, I need to have a bit of a slower season. The kids are starting school, or hockey season starts, or whatever it is. Go through your personal calendar, put it all in there, because many of us, the reason we started an online business is to have a good work-life balance, and so we want to make sure we start with that. What does your personal calendar look like? Then you're going to look at the analytics and the goals. So based on what you are already currently offering and you're either continuing to do, or you're making some changes to, and the goals that you set, I want you to put that into your calendar. So when are your launches, your product releases, sales that you're doing, promotions that you do, all of that sort of thing. And then in Asana, I like to actually list this out as, what am I doing annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly? What does my weekly schedule look like? And I put that into Asana, put dates on it, assign it to myself. And then I'm also going to put in there, if I've made any changes, I want to make any changes to the product. So if I'm hiring or outsourcing the work, I'm going to actually set aside time in my calendar to go through that hiring process as well. So by this date, I want to hire somebody, so I need to start the hiring process on this date, and that sort of thing. So with your current offerings, your analytics, and the goals you set, put those together, put them into your calendar and your to-do list of what that looks like, and break it down all the way even into weekly. Then you're going to do the same thing with your market research and the goals you set for anything that has to do with the market research. So are you adding any new products or offerings? What does your audience want to see? How does this fit into your current schedule? And so you're going to schedule time in to actually build the new thing, look at when you're planning on launching it, releasing it, even give yourself time if it's a new strategy. Okay, during these weeks, my goal is, or my focus is going to be on researching this strategy or taking this course or what have you. So schedule all the things for your market research and your goals across your calendar. How does that fit in to your schedule so far? And then finally, business tasks. Again, it can be super, super easy to get caught up in client work and lose sight of all of this planning that you just put in. And so I want you to schedule time either monthly or quarterly to work on your business. So whether that be, at the end of every month or the beginning of every month, I'm going to track my analytics for next year's business planning, or I'm going to work on my business website, my graphics. I'm going to do some market research quarterly. I'm going to look, every quarter, I like to reflect on my progress for the goals I set and look at the goals I have for the next quarter. Am I on track? If I'm not, what do I need to do? All that sort of thing. So actually schedule time, monthly, quarterly, whatever, to work on these business tasks to make sure that you're progressing across the goals and the plan that you just set for yourself. And then our final fifth step of our New Year business planning is to review and reflect. So look at this plan that you just created and analyze it. Is there anything missing? And is it a good fit for me? Is it overwhelming? Does this plan make me excited? Did I get a little carried away? Is this manageable? Have I put too much on my plate? All of those things. So again, the overall goal of this step is this a good plan? And so again, you're looking at, does this plan make me excited? Do I look at this plan and I think, this is going to be such a good year. I'm so excited for this. Or do you go, oh my goodness, this is so overwhelming. I don't know if this makes me excited. And if it doesn't make you excited, doesn't bring you joy, then I suggest going back through your steps and looking at that enjoyment ranking in your analytics, your market research, because it should be something that you get excited about. Will this plan help me reach my goals? Have I fit all my goals in here? Can I see myself staying on track? Does it align to my business's vision, mission statement, identity? Or am I just sort of jumping on trends and things that I feel like I should be doing, right? So will this help reach my goals? Does it actually align to where I want my business to go? And then finally, is this a realistic plan? This is the big one. Is this realistic for the time and the money, etc., that I have available to me? Is this something that I can see myself achieving? Or am I going to be struggling to hit all of these tasks in this plan? If you answer a solid yes, it is, it makes me excited. Yes, it will help me reach my goals. Yes, it is putting my business on the path that I want. Yes, it's realistic. Then that's a great chance that you have created a fantastic business plan for yourself and that you've set your business up for success in the new year. So congratulations on making a great plan. I know it's a ton of work, but it definitely will help you as you go through the next year in reaching towards that success, that definition of success that you've set for yourself. So congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck in the new year. So now you know all of the steps that I take with my New Year business planning. If you're somebody who has that goal of reaching your first six-figure year, then I suggest you check out this next video where I sat down with Paige Brunton to talk exactly how people do that, how to hit their first six-figure year. So go check that out now.